Greetings everyone, this is Lightstar here, and I want to wish you all a wonderful holiday season. I hope you guys all had a very Merry Christmas. And now I'd actually like to talk to you today about 2015 and 2016, which is coming up. And last year I did this recap of the year, and this year I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to look ahead at what's coming in 2016. So first of all, we look at what we've been dealing with in 2015. And a lot of us have been dealing with healing, and I talked about that last year, and going through some deep processing and healing some wounds and looking at all of those things. And we had, from a global perspective, a shift in transparency, where things were coming to the surface to be seen, and things that needed to be dealt with needed to be dealt with. So these things were all happening and still happening even now. But as we look at 2016, I always like to look at my beautiful Magical Dimensions Oracle deck that I created to help me to look and see ahead what's in store for all of us on a global perspective. So as we've shifted into doing healing work on ourselves in our personal lives, as well as healing the planet and in our governments, which definitely need healing. And there's a lot of things that are purging and going on. Now, I feel this is going to continue into 2016. But we have seen in 2015, this really was the rise of power struggles. So there was a lot of different struggling for power and issues around power and issues around manipulation as well in our governments, obviously, and it's gotten to its height. So I feel that that has sort of come to a head, and just like on a roller coaster ride, when you're going up and you get to the top, what's on the other side? There's a drop. So amongst the many twists and turns that you have on the roller coaster ride, you do have that peak and the valleys and the peak and the valleys, but I do feel that in 2015 we've seen that struggle, the manipulation, and the issues around power. So what I did was I actually consulted my beautiful deck, and I asked them for an overall card. And then I go into a little bit more of a few cards, however many my guides say, to choose. But the first card is always going to be the overview of what's really around the issues that are happening. And what I picked was my beautiful throat portal. And this particular card has to do with the chakra. And interestingly enough, as we go along, I chose about several cards in my deck have connotations of the chakras. They're called portals because that's what I really feel they are. So I've chosen several of the portal chakra cards, and that means we're working a lot on the chakra systems in a global perspective. All of humanity is basically working on these chakra systems to clear. So it's very interesting that I chose quite a few intuitively of the chakra portal cards for this particular reading for 2016. So the throat portal is all about, it can be on the negative side about suppression of your will, of speaking out and speaking your truth. Because what is being expression in the throat is about speaking your truth. And it's about the courage to stand up and speak your truth as well. So it has to do with communication, and it has to do with will. And it's always a question of, is it my will? Is it the divine will? Whose will is it coming through my voice? And we see that as we're moving into 2016, our voices need to be heard. A lot of us are going through a time of expression and being able to express ourselves in the way that we would like to be heard, and a way that feels us most empowered in our own divinity. And so it really has to do with looking at communication as on a global scale. We need to effectively clean up our communication skills and to be able to communicate our own truths and the divine truths very effectively. So that is going to be the overall card that is coming through, and the energies of that are coming through. So now as we drill down a little bit more, there's another card chosen called Exiled. And this card is all about the illusion of being separate. Now, we've had a lot of people feeling disconnected on different levels, from disconnected from themselves, disconnected from source, disconnected from their higher self, disconnected from their guides, disconnected from community as a whole, and not really feeling of where they fit in, or not understanding where they fit in, and feeling very lost, alone, and isolated. So this card is really coming up because these issues are all about us clearing. So because of this year, it's going to be like sort of a clearing of a lot of things that are not working anymore, ways of thinking that are not working anymore. It's really about clearing and cleaning up and letting go of old patterns and old ways of thinking. So we also are seeing a rise in community and connectivity, which will continue into 2016, where we really feel people are binding together and really connecting with their heart spaces and who they truly are, and finding their families, their true families, and their soul families, and really connecting on those levels. So the washing away of all the old stuff is going to continue to happen. But this is actually also washing away some feelings of separateness and disconnectedness, and in soon replacing that with unity, consciousness, and connectivity. So then we move into the next card, which I've chosen, which is another portal chakra card called Solar Portal. Now this has to do with power in the solar plexus, which is all about power. So as I see, we're still working with power. Last year we were working with power too, but it was more, kind of like throwing it out there, not really knowing how to work with your own power. What is your power? Feeling empowered, how it's all about the many facets of power. And now we're really moving into centering and balancing all of that in your power, and clearing away things that are no longer assisting you in balance and in that true sense of who you are, and in your empowerment, your own empowerment, and helping to empower others instead of the manipulation. We're not saying everybody's manipulative, but sometimes we don't realize, sometimes it's unconscious, sometimes we don't know exactly what we're doing until we really look at it and see the intentions behind it. So we're really looking at clearing and getting really intentionally clear on our intentions with others. So then we move into another crown. It's a crown portal chakra, and this is another chakra card. And again, this one, now we're moving into divinity, and what is the source of our divinity, and where does that come from, and who are we really connecting with? So it has to do with unity and that unity consciousness, and also the feelings of feeling separate. We're never ever separate, but sometimes we feel that way. And this is connecting you directly to source. So we see a lot of push towards connecting, whether it be prayer, meditation, group meditations, especially where everybody's putting that group consciousness and into divine connection. It's all tying together, but we're clearing those pathways of disconnection even with our divine source and creator. So, and this also will open up the connections to your higher self and to your connections with your guides and angels and star friends and all of that. So we're working on all of those levels of connecting and really bringing it into your reality here on the 3D. So the other card chosen, we are also working with the third eye portal or chakra. So the third eye, which is up here right in the center of the forehead, we're dealing with clearing some of the confusion, first of all, Sometimes we feel confused, we don't know what to do, we're not sure where to go, okay? So it has to do with really our vision and our clarity of vision, our intuition, and our clairvoyance, and our visual. This has to do with clearing some things that are getting in the way or blocking your own creative vision. So artists especially, we're going to be clearing a lot of different issues that are blocking our path maybe, or actually blocking our vision. And so we're really looking at ways of becoming more intuitively solid and more intuitive in our senses of connections with others, and to connect with our own intuition in a way that can be very tangible for us to see, feel, and hear. And we're also looking at the global vision for all humanity. And so the visual senses is going to be really powerful. Visual connected with the feeling sense as well is extremely powerful. So we're going through that processing of getting more clear with everything. Now, to tie this all, we are actually going through another process subconsciously through the Dreamscapes card. And the Dreamscapes card is all about the subconscious. And it's all about doing dream work. So many of us our dreams are getting so heightened, and they're getting more powerful, and they're getting more clear. A lot of them are getting more psychic. A lot of them are getting more missions in your dream state. And and then you're becoming aware of those missions. So these things are all about going into the deeper subconscious levels to do the clearing work. It may feel this year like a lot of you are washing away just stuff, lots of stuff. And it's actually more on the inner level. So sometimes it's not going to be like the cleaning of your closets on a tangible level, but it will be felt on the inside. And sometimes you do this work, well, not sometimes, a lot of times, you do this work in your dreams, and the dreams will be coming into your reality. And to what that means will take some diligence on your part to really decipher on what is coming through in your dreams, doing a lot of recall and memory on your dream state, because they're very important and they do correspond to what's happening in your daily life. So, and now to sum up all of this as well, it's sort of a beginning overall and then an ending overall. We chose the challenges card, and the challenges card is summing up that really, again, we're clearing all of these blocks, fears, doubts, insecurities, calling for help when you need help. You know, some of you don't even actually use that, you know, and I understand that because you feel like you can do it all yourself, but we need to ask for help sometimes. And when we do, that help comes calling. So we're clearing so many different things on so many different levels, but I feel we're going to really do it this year. It's going to be a little more deeper and more expanded as well in all areas of our life as we're doing the clearing. So we kind of move up the ladder much more easily and much more swiftly. So that's what I see for 2016, what's coming up. And I just want to offer you guys a little assistance with going through all of this and the processing, as it's going to be, it will be really good things coming for us, but we just need to hold on just a little bit. I do feel the new is coming. It still is coming, and it's not like we'll be doing this clearing. Well, all of us will be doing clearing for the rest of our days here, because that's what we do here. But this big transition clearing, we are wrapping up a 9-year cycle, and so this year is very, very powerful for any last minute stuff that you want to say, I want to carry this forward, or I don't want to carry this forward. Now is the time to sit down and look at all of these things on an inner level. Because we pulled so many chakra cards, it has to do with us really going on the inside. And then collectively also we're doing that for the global humanity. We're actually clearing a lot for the lack and limitation, and old patterns and different ways of thinking that are not working for humanity anymore. So we're really working on both levels. So just be kind and patient with yourself and your process. And I want to offer you some assistance. If you'd like to work with me personally, I do many different types of sessions, and because of the new year, I'm also coming out with new sessions, and I've gotten some gifts and new experiences and new upgrades myself, so I'm going to incorporate some of those. And I have a interdimensional starseed alignment session that I've always had, but now I'm going to be expanding this into 3 phases. It's going to be a progression, and so it's going to be in 3 stages, and the phase 1 is going to be your discovery phase. And the discovery phase is where I will literally go to your soul origins, and I will look at your specific DNA, and I will read that DNA, because there are markers for me that tell me who you really are and where you really came from. And this could be the galactic realms, the angelic realms, the elemental realms, or even out of this universe if you're not even from this place at all, and even in possibly a different dimension. So in many different dimensions that are outside of this universe, as well as the ones that are inside of this universe. So we'll look at the different portals and the different gateways that you also reside and came from. And we'll really go into your soul purpose and what you're doing in your mission here and why you came here. What are you supposed to be doing here? And so then after we look at that in phase 1 and really get a clear picture of all of that, we move into phase 2. And phase 2 is going to be your connectivity alignment. And the connectivity is also about clearing, because this is where we look at, okay, we know who you are now. Now, what are you going to do about it? But before you do that, what are some blocks that are hindering you from moving forward into your mission, your path, who you are, stepping forward, whatever it might be for you? It's always different for everyone. But let's really dive in there. And I'm going to be doing some different processes to help you clear, whether it be guided visualizations. I'm going to be doing an intuitive body scan. And I will be really looking at what you're doing and where you need to tap into your higher self and why that might not be happening, so that we can progress you along your path. So that's kind of more of the let's dive in, let's get our hands kind of dirty and let's go. Let's get this going here, because I really want you guys to excel and shine your light. But you can't do that sometimes, as hard as you try, if you've got all this blockage and stuff in the way. We need to clear all of that. We need to get majority of it out of the way so that we can move on to the phase 3, which is going to be the vitality phase. And this is now after you've sort of cleared a little bit of the mucky muck, so to speak, and you've gotten a bit better, clear picture of that. Now we can move into bringing some new templates and some new grids, and giving you some, I have a technique, a holographic decision-making technique that's really powerful, and it will help you to make decisions very clearly, very simply, and to know without a shadow of doubt. So I also have a spectra light integration. It's an activation that I do specifically. It's exclusively from an image and a channeling I received that will be incorporated into that session, because it really will bring in the new light body and how that integrates with all your chakra systems, and it really gets you going on your path. So we'll do a lot of different gridding and bringing in activations, and we'll then be able to connect with your guides much easier, because now the pathway is clear. You've brought in some new, you've released some of the old. So this is a very powerful phase, 3-phase progression. Now you don't have to do all 3 phases with me. You can just do the first phase if you feel I'm wanting to be not making you go through all of it if you don't want to. And if your budget is a certain place, then you can just go at your own pace. It's up to you how much you want to experience. And so I want to offer that as well. That's a new thing. You can go look on my website at lightstarcreations.com, and I have all of that new session work on there. I also will be doing a brand new session that is going to be called my Illumination Alignment session, and that's actually a standalone. It's 30 minutes or 60 minutes, and that is going to include some exclusive type of light language activations for your chakras, which I have been working with for the last several years, but I'm going to be doing that in those sessions, and I'm also going to be using my Magical Dimensions Oracle cards, and I will be doing some other activation and also looking at your life purpose as well. But so that's for people that may not want to go deeply into everything, but they want to get some answers and some intuitive guidance, and we'll be helping you in that session as well. So I want to thank you all for watching, and again, go to visit my website at lightstarcreations.com. You'll see all of my artwork, my visual attunement artwork, my alignment jewelry, and my oracle cards that are for sale there as well, and you can check all my sessions out. So I'd love to help you guys propel yourself and really step into who you are and what you are here to do in this lifetime here on Earth. So we'll be looking at so many different things in those sessions, but they will all be unique unto your particular situation. So I also have a package deal for the phases, the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, and I'll be giving what's included in that is also a guided visualization that will be specifically for you. So that's something to also look at too. So again, blessings for the new year. I want you all to excel and shine your lights and be blessed in all ways. And I thank you so much. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, please do. Or you can subscribe to my email list as well on my website. And blessings to all in the new year. Namaste.